Hey, this is Riverberry. Today may be one of the most impactful shows for you, where I am going to talk about thinking successfully. Stay tuned. Okay, so today talking about thinking successfully. The first thing I want to go over is one of the key things that in everyone's life, and that is the foundational pillars. The four foundational pillars. They are physical, mental, spiritual, and financial. Some say there's a fifth pillar of the emotional, but I think that, in my opinion, that you have the mental, and whatever you're thinking empowers your emotions. So if you're thinking a certain thing, if you're thinking down, then it's going to empower that emotion of that. So staying focused and controlling emotions, that's all part of that mental thing. So for me, there's four foundational pillars, which is physical, mental, and spiritual, and financial. So let's just go over those four foundational pillars. So what's it mean to be physical, right? And what I've found is that in a lot of people's lives, that there is a imbalance within pillars. There may be somebody who's super physical and fit and healthy, but their finances is in the pits. Where you may have somebody who's very spiritual, but their mind is in the clouds, and you probably can relate to that. So my purpose in life is, balancing those four pillars, and that's the key to all these everything I talk about, everything I write about, all the quotes. It's just my way of finding that balance. So again, so what's it mean to be physical? Are you physically fit? Now, I'm not talking about being a bodybuilder. If that's your thing, that's fine. But are you physically fit? Are you healthy on the outside and the inside? And just take a look at your life. Do you have a lot of ailments? And that's a result of being not healthy. Are you taking a lot of pills? Are you eating healthy? Are you exercising properly? Are you supplementing? So these are things you want to ask about being physical in your life and finding that balance. And a lot of people, they don't know where to start. They may be 300 pounds, and I've seen people come into a pharmacy, and they're like, I need my pain medication, when they're 300 pounds and their back hurts. Well, maybe lose some weight. Maybe that'll alleviate the pain, and so you don't have to spend so much money on medication, which again, the financial, they're like, where am I going to find this money? Well, maybe lose some weight, cut down the money on the medication, and increase your wealth. So again, so what physical is being physically fit, inside and out, getting proper exercise. Again, getting proper exercise when you run, or you're walking, or you're riding a bike, or you're hiking, it exercises all the organs in the inside. It exercises your lungs, it exercises your stomach and your digestive tract, all the way up to your heart. Eating properly, And again, those are the kind of things. So we'll talk about more of that, some things, but I'm just trying to throw some examples out. Okay, so mental. What does it mean to be mental? And I'm not saying mentally like, oh, crazy. I'm just saying mentally, are you mentally focused? Are you, do you have clarity of mind? Do you have control of your emotions when something arrives? And when I'm saying the category of mental is of, education, reading, writing, speaking, and, are you listening to great audios of, coaches that, in different areas that you want to, reach at? And again, it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. And Napoleon Hill said one time that, whether a person in the mind can conceive and believe, they can achieve. So it all starts in the mind. And once you change that, you'll see like this shift. And I remember I would read all this stuff and I'm like, oh yeah. And all this, things were happening in my life. And it actually was somebody, it was an acquaintance, and he was at a certain part of their life that was like, oh, I want that. And I reached out to them and I'm like, please help and this is that. And one of the things that they said to me, which at first you would think it would be like, oh wow, that was kind of mean, but it was like, they were like, well, I can't do anything for you. You have to do it for yourself. And so many people look for an outside source to fix the problem when really it's it's in here that will fix the problem. So that's mental. Spiritual. What does it mean to be spiritual? And what I mean by spiritual, are you doing a daily practice? Are you praying? Are you going to church? Are you contributing to your church or organization? Are you doing random acts of kindness? That's spiritual. Having a spiritual faith of a divinity, of God, or whatever you believe in. Have it in your thought, because actually it's going to be the foundational thing that you're going to build upon. And some people don't have that. They they say that they're spiritual, but yet they don't go to a church, or they don't do a practice, or they don't the first person that cuts them off and go like, I'm gonna kill him. That's not very, very spiritual. But again, we're all human. So it's not, we're all going to make mistakes, in all certainly of these pillars. So, I'm not saying that reach a patch of like you are, superhuman, but, trying to find that balance. And then the last pillar is financial. Financial, what I'm saying is, are your finances in order? Is your checkbook balance? Are you paying your bills? Do you know how to invest? Do you know how to grow a business? Your business. Finding that, education. And again, in all these areas, some people just don't know where to start. There's so many financial books out there that, who knows? I say like, okay, this is crap, and your head starts to spin. You're like, okay, well, what do I do? And an example for myself, I remember I had a friend of mine, and he was always going. He's always going somewhere. Always somewhere. He's like, hey, I'm calling him up. He's like, hey, I'm in Delaware, at my beach house. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm in, Boston. Hey, I'm there. And I'm like, well, how does he do all that? And he is a financial advisor. So I was like, I called him. I said, hey, you know, can you throw me, a quick tips of, what do you do? And he agreed to sit down. Of course, he charges lots of money, but of course he was a personal friend of mine, so he shared, and you know he laid out a plan of saying, okay, you know, these are your bills, and this is and you have this left over, and once he put it on paper, it's like, oh wow, really, that's great. So thinking successfully, and which leading up to like the four pillars of thinking successfully, and whatever you want to get out of it. We're going on a new year, and what do you want to get out of life? What do you want to get in this next year, right? And I'm not talking about writing a goal like I want to be happy in the next year. You don't go to a restaurant and say, bring me some food. No, you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu and say, I want exactly this and this and this, and take away the onions. And so you do that in your life. Be specific, ride in it, fly in it, put pictures up, and then like whatever that goal is, think about it of how could you attain it? What are the steps to get to that point? So that's the show for today. I hope you enjoy it. Again, it's up to you to make that change. Until next time, stay empowered, be the change.